Hi friends, so today in this presentation we will see how to do a modeling of a solar project. Now once you understand this model you can use it for modeling of an event project also. Uh, you can model a thermal project by tweaking some parameters, but that's a separate subject altogether. However, since we are more focused on renewables these days, and if I'm doing it in India, and India has a very ambitious target of putting up 175 gigawatt of renewables by 2022, out of which a majority is going to come in solar. So it makes sense to now understand how we plan and model a 1 megawatt of solar project. You end of the course, you will get this Excel sheet in the as an attachment, and you can always download it, and you can just tweak some areas of this, and you can get it for 10 megawatt, 15 megawatt, whatever. This is a very basic model which we are using, and it is sufficient for modeling purpose, for lending purpose for a small project. However, once you are building up a very big project, this model will not be a great suitability for that. You need some more parameters to put in, but for understanding the basics, this is the model which you should focus on. So let's begin this presentation, which we will divide into various segments to understand in details how the model runs. And once you complete this course, you will be able to see how to run this model. So to start this model, the first thing which you have to see is to understand what are the requirements of a solar project. So first requirement which is needed is land. So unless you have a land, you cannot put up any project. So once you have the land, so land typical requirement is in India is 4 acres per megawatt. You need 4 acres of land. Now the second requirement which is there is connectivity. So you need connectivity with either a discom substation or a transmission substation to inject your power in the of which will get generated from the project. So when I mean transmit connectivity, that means transmission line. So you need to build a transmission line. The third thing which you need is finance. So in finance, there are two parts. One is debt, another is equity. Debt is something which you get from the banks. Equity is something which you have to put from your own pocket. The fourth requirement which is there is your construction of the project. Construction of the project means you need panels, you need structure, also called balance of system, then you need inverter. It could be central inverter, it could be string inverter. Then you need we also say it's the transformers, or you can say it's as a wrap, which is wrapping up all the other requirements of the project. Okay, so this goes into the construction. What else? You have got the land, you have got connectivity, you have got finance, you have got construction. Now you need a PPA, which is power purchase agreement. With whom you are signing this PPA? It could be with any government utility with which you are signing. It can be a private corporate PPA. Now, when PPA, the most important thing is what is the duration of the PPA. You have to put it in your model. It can be 25 years, it can be 15 years, it can be 10 years, whatever. That all depends on at what this. So this goes your duration. Second is your tariff. At what tariff you're signing? You can be signing at 3.8 unit per unit, 3.8 INR, 3.8 per unit. It could be for 15 years INR 3. It could be like 4 rupees per unit. For 10 years it could be 4.5 per unit, whatever. Then comes your one thing I missed is debt is typically 70% of the project cost, and equity is typically 30%. And equity is also funded through CCDs, NCDs, or it can be through cash, whatever could be your mean. Now, once you are getting debt, the most important part is your at what rate you are getting the debt. So lending rate is very important. It could be 9.5% or it could be 11.5% with a moratorium, which is the period where you don't have to uh, pay back. Moratorium is typically in India, it's around 6 months. So you wrote this thing. Now, once these 5 things are okay, this runs the basics. Once your project is ready, you have to put a transmission line also, which we missed. So transmission line typical cost is around INR 20 to 25 lakhs per kilometer. Final thing is your in the costing is your panels. Panels typically in India is currently you have to import it from China or some other countries. It comes at around uh, 22 to 25 cents per watt peak is the price, plus you add the safeguard duty with that, which is typically 15%. Then you add the GST, which is on panel, it is for 5%. This goes into the costing of the project majorly. Then once your project is ready, you have to put the O&M cost. O&M cost is your typically is around INR 5 to 6 lakhs per annum is the cost per megawatt per annum per megawatt is the cost for O&M in typically. So this is basically what is the requirement of the project.